Hello to everyone and welcome to the video. This will be a Q&A style video answering the questions which were submitted by you. If I do happen to miss any of your questions, please let me know in the comments or reach out to me on Instagram where I am most active. But also feel free to join my Discord server and discuss in there, where you can also ask your question, and if I did miss your question, which was already submitted before this video going up, I will be answering it in a short or a reel, anytime this week from Saturday to Sunday, or from whenever this video goes up to Friday basically. So don't hesitate to let me know. Now without further delay, let's start with the questions submitted on Instagram. Starting with the very first question. What would you scale Luffy? I think, if I'm being the most generous, I would place him at multi-continental, and that's after factoring in that the One Piece Earth is 8 times larger than our own. Still, I cannot put him any higher than multi-continental without being too biased, but if I was going to put him down a bit, I would put him at continental, multi-continental. I can't put him any lower or higher than that without being biased or hateful basically. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. How's your day going? Pretty well actually, thanks mate. And how's your day going? I certainly hope everyone's having a lovely day and a lovely week. Move on to the next question. Top 3 most hated anime. I don't think I have 3. The only anime which I despise with a passion is Boruto. Now, before anyone calls me an actual hater, yes I am, but I am for a reason. Yes, I did watch the entirety of the Boruto anime, and that's why I hate it. The entire pre-time skip and the entire time before meeting Kawaki was absolute dog shit, and I will stand by that statement. It had its ups and downs, there are some good characters, but Boruto himself before the time skip is a character I just can't get along with at all. Sarada is good, Kawaki is good, Mitsuki is a great character as well. Boruto himself is the one person who I simply can't stand. And it really says a lot about an anime when the main character is the one I hate the most. But another anime which came close to being on my hated list would have to be Fairy Tail, simply because of its ending. The nonsense which happened at the end was so bad, broke the plot so badly, I simply could not get along with it at all. And small fact here, I watched the entirety of Fairy Tail without knowing that Natsu wasn't the main character. It's actually Lucy. If you didn't know that either, then I suppose I just earned myself a like on this video. Let's go to the next question. What led you to start as an influencer? Well, that's going to be a hard question. Right, I think I started as a content creator. Well, I wouldn't really call myself a content creator. I was just randomly posting videos with a friend or two back when I was in school. And back then I just posted these really badly recorded Arkham Origins footage where I was admittedly getting my ass kicked by Deathstroke. Yeah, the person who asked this question knows exactly what I'm talking about, because he's the one who helped me beat Deathstroke. To this day, I can't beat that boss, and I'm not really going to try to attempt it because screw that. But that's how I actually started. I did end up stopping making videos after that, and I did come back eventually, starting by making, I don't actually remember, but when I came back the third time, I made DVD reviews which were really short in a shorts format, which were only uploaded on YouTube, I think, and just random game clips until I decided to actually start as a content creator, and I suppose you can call it influencer, by starting to make anime videos, comic videos, reviews, basically anything I wanted, because that's when I actually figured out what I wanted to do and why I was doing it. So I guess the really short answer would be, I started off as an influencer in order to share my opinion on different things, while also sharing knowledge on a bunch of different things as well. Like my tagline on my channel and Instagram says, connecting all fiction. My goal is to eventually create a community where people from different, I suppose, corners of the internet, different corners of fiction can meet and talk about different things which are in their interest. So comics, anime, TV shows, cartoons, you get what I'm talking about. For them to be able to discuss what they want in a place where they can find like-minded people. That's why I became an influencer. Really long answer, but I really hope I answered your question there. Let's move on. Does Anos Voldigoad's sword make him undefeatable? I don't know. I've watched the anime, but I don't remember what was special about his sword. Most of the times he didn't actually use it at all, so I suppose I'll have to answer this later. If I do come up with an answer, I will put it in this video post-production, but if I don't, I will try to answer this question in a short after I actually research what his sword can do. But for now, I'll be moving on. Why does Gege do this, bro? Gege is just hateful. We all know this by now. I think in an interview which came out recently, the translation said, he doesn't really kill the characters which we don't like. because it would not have an emotional reaction to us. So he will first endear us to a character and then kill them, which after reading that I kind of just understood Gege is just evil and kind of just cemented the idea that he definitely, I can't prove it, but he definitely got inspiration from a Kamega kill, which does the exact same thing. If you've not seen that anime before, here's your warning not to. Or I suppose here's your warning to go watch it so you can gain some culture, which is much needed these days. Next question. Remember when anime used to have hacks and techniques, beat raw power, but now it's not the same? Yes, and I blame Dragon Ball. You can call me a hater. You are partially right. I do hate parts of Dragon Ball, the community mostly, but I blame Dragon Ball for a specific reason. Remember the fight between Goku and Hit? And you remember how Goku was able to beat time skip? Yeah, by raw power basically, by powering up to a level beyond Hit and just overwhelming him. But another example in Dragon Ball, and it still involves Hit, is the fight between Hit and Jiren. Hit's ability is able to store up all that time he skipped and use it to essentially create a time prison and launch it at someone. And he launches this insane ability at Jiren. And you remember how Jiren was able to beat that ability? By powering up and stepping through it. He stepped through a dimension of time by walking through it and being powerful. You get what I'm talking about. Techniques in Dragon Ball mean very little. Even Hakai, that literally just came to my mind, even Hakai, the ability which is able to literally erase you from existence, your soul included, can be beaten if you are stronger than the person casting it. Power over technique. That's Dragon Ball's fault. But I suppose people still like it for the hype, so I can't complain. I will, but not loudly, although I did just spend the entire minute complaining, so take that how you will. I honestly don't care. Next question. Fight taking place in the real world. Who you got, Baki or Naruto? If we've got this happening in the real world, so equal stats, well, not equal stats anyway, they are just both human, nothing supernatural, but we are only counting their techniques and abilities. Baki wins. The guy has quite literally mastered every martial art style and has been shown multiple times to be able to adapt to a fight immediately. And the main reason I think Naruto is going to lose this is, can you remember a fight where Naruto wasn't using shadow clones to win, or shadow clones in any advantage? I personally can't. Obviously the fight between Ishiki, he was using Baryon mode, but he wasn't exactly in his human state there either, was he? If we're talking raw skill, raw technique, raw ability, I'm giving this to Baki. I think Baki could beat Naruto. There's going to be the people who say, well, Naruto was trained to be a ninja. And I will ask you, when's the last time you saw Naruto do something that's actually ninja, that doesn't require chakra? If this is happening in the real world, there is no chakra. Baki's never needed it. He's just a really strong fighter. So this one's going to Baki. Sorry, not sorry. How long does it take you to make a video on average? That actually depends. If we're talking about a reel, which is usually around 50 seconds for me, which can actually go up to 130 seconds, which is the maximum for Instagram, which just gets developed into an actual video on YouTube because shorts on YouTube can only be 60 seconds. For those kinds of videos, it can take up to an hour to edit and go through my entire style. If anyone's interested in how I make my videos, I'll go through that in another video, but not in this one because if I start explaining, it might take quite a while. But for longer videos like this one, which I'm assuming is going to be longer than 30 minutes, that kind of video can take absolute hours to edit because I need to edit the audio first, and then, you know what, I said I wouldn't be talking about how I edit stuff. So basically it takes multiple hours for a long video, up to a day, multiple days sometimes. And for shorts, it takes about an hour or so. Nothing too much. Does Sukuna do the inner demon trope better than Naruto? I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this one, but I think so, but I wouldn't say better. It's just in a very different way. The inner demon trope in most animes is the anime protagonist has this demon or beast inside of them. That beast is usually a malevolent spirit or malevolent demon which is evil, which eventually starts becoming good, they get into an understanding, and eventually that beast or demon starts helping the protagonist. And that's usually how it goes, but in JJK with Sukuna's case and Yuji, that's not how things went. Sukuna started off as evil, stayed evil, and is still evil. As a matter of fact, Sukuna hates Yuji in particular and wants to cause him the most misery and suffering, looks down on him completely, and overall just wants to end him. Whereas Kurama started caring for Naruto, Sukuna quite literally laughs at his misery. The scene of him laughing at his misery should be on screen right now. See? Sukuna doesn't care. He broke that trope entirely. He's an inner demon which stayed an inner demon. I suppose saying stayed an inner demon would be incorrect. He's not exactly in UG anymore, but that's a bit of a spoiler. Even then, he did stay an inner demon in someone else. I won't spoil that part though. But you get what I'm talking about, right? I hope so. I'm just rambling to myself at the moment in a room. But yeah, I don't think it does it better. I think it does it in a different way, if that makes sense. Anyway, ramble too much. Let's move on. If Goku were to watch the tape, would Goku or Sadako win? Sadako doesn't really... Hold on. Right, so the way the tape works is you watch the tape, and if you don't show the tape to someone else, I think you end up dying. But how do you die? Is it just automatic death? Does she come over and kill you? And how does she kill you? I'll admit I haven't actually watched the movie, so I don't know. But if it's something which requires fisticuffs, Goku might win, or Goku will win. But if it's something more ethereal, where it's like a Death Note kind of thing, the 7th day passes and you just keel over, then I don't think Goku can beat that. While Goku can come back as a spirit and throw hands, he will still die. So someone who knows something about Ringu, please let me know in the comments. And yes, it's called Ringu, not the ring or the tape. Right, that will be all the questions submitted on Instagram. Let's move on to the ones on Discord. Is Toon Force overrated? Yes and no, but mostly when it's used in the wrong way. Especially when I'm talking about Luffy. Luffy's Toon Force is unreliable. Some people say he can warp time and warp reality to a certain degree, and we don't know that. We've seen him grab stuff like lightning. We have seen him turn the ground into rubber and people into rubber, but that's mostly because of his fruit. And we've also seen him just create goggles out of nowhere, and those goggles weren't made out of rubber. So, but he's also done that entire thing with the baseball bat. So I don't know. Does Luffy have Toon Force? That's not even the question, but that's where my mind went. So is Toon Force overrated? When it's not being used correctly, yes, it's extremely overrated. When it's being used correctly with people who actually have Toon Force, like say the Mask, who can quite literally just do anything, then that's when it's perfectly rated, because that's when Toon Force is being used accurately. In terms of Luffy, yes, it's being overrated. Quite overrated, actually. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, look at that. He actually answered my question for me. Overrated. But I gave more description. Anyway, let's move on. Who is your PFP? Is it your Bitmoji or something? And is that your real voice? Right, my profile picture. It's created using an app called Reality. I created an avatar there. It's an AI avatar, so it follows my movements. I took a screenshot of that, well, a picture of that, downloaded that, and then edited it to add the circle and the coloring and the background, which used to be my previous logo. So, a bit of Spectre lore there. My previous logo is behind my current one. The skull with wings made out of electric guitars, that used to be my previous logo. It's now behind my current logo with my face over it. So, it's not really my face, it's my avatar, which is modeled to look pretty much like me. So if you ever wondered what I look like or want a face reveal, I look like my avatar, but in real life. That's literally it. Is that your real voice? Yeah, I've had people thinking this was an AI voice, but nope, it's my voice. I mean, I'm talking right now, so I would assume you know that it's my voice. So moving on to the next question. What is your favorite single-player game? Currently, it has to be Hogwarts Legacy, but Black Magic Sun Wukong just came out, and I'm looking at all the playthroughs from it. I'm actually watching a playthrough from the Rad Brad. Great creator. If you ever want to watch walkthroughs, definitely go for him. And the game just looks incredible. So until I play that game, it's going to be Hogwarts Legacy. So for right now, it's Hogwarts Legacy because I really enjoyed that game since I'm a Harry Potter fan and everything. But when I start playing Black Myth Wukong, it's going to be Black Myth Wukong. I just know it's going to be. Anyway, next question. Do you watch Webtoon? I'm going to sound really stupid there, aren't I? I'm not sure. I've heard of Webtoon, but never had much to do with it, so I suppose the answer here is no, I don't watch Webtoon. Right, this is going to be a cluster of many questions, but let's get to it now. Where does Alien X scale? We've quite literally seen multiple statements and multiple scenes where it's shown Alien X can do anything. So if we're going to scale him, I think he's... What's the highest scaling? Boundless, right? I will not be putting him at Boundless, but a bit below Boundless. 1A maybe? Perhaps, I'm not sure. He can't quite literally do anything, so it would be disingenuous for me to say that he's lower than that. But I will not put him on Boundless because Well, there's going to be people crying in the comments. I'm sure there's people crying in the comments right now. Anyway, let's move on. Who is your favorite comic book character? That's actually an interesting question. Who is my favorite comic book character? It has to be Iron Man, right? But that's a movie character that I like. Who do I like from comic books? I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. I'm trying to think about it right now. I don't... Oh, does Batman count as a comic book character or as a TV show? Let's just go with Batman. It's either going to be Iron Man or Batman. Those are the only two characters which I like the most, to be honest. So it's one of those two. How did Sasuke survive Deidara blowing himself up? Honestly forgot. Right, so the explanation and visuals we got from the anime itself is, before the explosion went off, he somehow, and I do mean somehow because it's bullshit as hell, he somehow cast the summoning to summon his snake, went inside the snake's mouth, reverse summoned. So when the explosion was going off, it did hit the snake and injured it. I think the snake ended up dying at that point, right? I think so. I think Manda did die. But Sasuke survived the explosion because he was inside the snake's mouth. And that's how he survived. So if you can tell me how Sasuke made the summoning signs, summoned Manda, had enough time to get in the snake's mouth, and perform the reverse summoning, I don't know. It's really bullshit when you think about it, but that's how he survived. He jumped in a snake's mouth that he summoned. That's it, literally. Who is the best hand-to-hand fighter between Batman, Shang-Chi, Goku, Yujiro, and Jin Mori? If we're going by... Right, first of all, I'm going to take away all their powers and abilities. Just fighting skills. Who is the best that I've seen visually? Let's start with the first one, and that's going to be either Yujiro or Mori Jin. That's the only two I can think of who are the strongest. The Monkey King. Jin Mori is from an anime which is literally just about martial arts, and he does win quite a bit, but he also does get his ass beat, so Yujiro is going to probably be the one up top, since he's mastered every single fighting style and has gotten so ridiculous he's no longer the strongest person on Earth, he's the strongest creature on Earth, and he has fought people like Baki and won, and I'm not sure if he would have been able to beat Pickle, but he did come close. So I'm putting Yujiro first when it comes to actual skill, hand-to-hand fighting. Next after that, I'm going to put either Shang-Chi or Goku, so I'll put them tied for second place. After that, I'm putting Jin Mori. He might be the Monkey King and really good at martial arts, but it's the Nirvana and everything like that which makes him the strongest. I'm not sure about his martial arts skill though. And below them all, I will put Batman, because while he is a very strong hand-to-hand martial artist and has studied almost every fighting style and is able to hang in there with the strongest of them, including the League of Shadows, I don't think Batman without any gadgets can beat the rest on this list. If I said he would, I would be lying, I think. Right, let's move into the next one. Are you reading or watching anything right now? I'm currently watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I'm also watching One Piece. What other anime am I currently watching? Ragnar Crimson. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. I'm reading JJK weekly or as weekly as it comes out. One Piece weekly or as weekly as it comes out. I was reading MHA, but that just ended. Also following up on Black Clover, but that's quarterly, so not every week. I'm planning to start reading Kagurabachi. I heard that's actually a really good one, so I'm probably going to get into that. I'm also reading Bleach Can't Fear Your Own World because I want to get more of the story and be in time for when the, I think, third part of 1,000 Year Blood War. Yeah, that's the one that's upcoming, right? Third or fourth? I'm not sure. I think it's third. So I just want to be able to catch up to Can't Fear Your Own World because a lot of things which happened in there are suddenly happening in the anime as well, even though they don't belong in there. A fun fact is, Shinji's Bankai was never supposed to be in 1,000 Year Blood War, but it was added in because Kubo was being rushed while writing the manga, so I just want to stay ahead of things, but I think that's all I'm currently following right now. I'm probably forgetting a few, but that's a problem for another day. Who wins between Cosmic Armor Superman, Featherine, Akuto Sai, and Void Shiki? I'm not sure where Void Shiki is, but I do know that he, she, it's a she, right? Or genderless. I'm not sure. All I do know is they are from Fate, so I'll just be using they since I don't know. I do know they have to be the weakest, since the remaining people on this list are plot manipulators. I'm not sure if Void Shiki can do that. But speaking of plot manipulation, we have Akuto Sai, who's going to be right after Void Shiki. Between Featherine and Cosmic Armor Superman, believe it or not, Cosmic Armor Superman would lose to Featherine. Because, and I do call bullshit on this, multiple times because it's completely unfair. Featherine is not just a fictional character or metafictional, she is the author himself. He put himself in the book or the novel or the anime, whichever medium you're reading from, put himself in the show as Featherine. Featherine has as much author authority as he does, so if we're going with who's going to win, obviously the author is going to win over fictional characters, so Featherine wins, Cosmic Armor Superman goes after that, Akuto Sai, and then Void Shiki. If I'm wrong, you can feel free to correct me in the comments. Right, 6 is my max. Yeah, don't worry about it. I did say I would go through all the questions, so no worries. Thank you for taking the time to do this, by the way. Love the content. Absolutely appreciate it, and I'm glad I got to go through all those questions, though. I'm not actually sure how long those lasted. I can't even see the recording timer at the moment. Anyway, let's move on. Nah, it's okay. He will do it. Yeah, sure, speak for me, why don't you? I suppose that is part of your job as a mod. Let's move on. How do you rank the Akatsuki/Espada in order? Interested in both. I think I already answered down below that the Espada are already in order. The only ones which you can really change the position of is Tia Haribel and Ulquiorra, since Ulquiorra does have his Segunda Etapa, which does make him stronger, but I'm a firm believer that Aizen always knew about that and assigned him number 4 knowing what his power was, and he chose to put Tia Haribel above him. So I'll just go with that ranking and trust Aizen on this one. But if you want to put Ulquiorra at 3 and Tia Haribel at 4, I wouldn't mind that either. I think the positionings are perfectly right. As for the Akatsuki, hold on, let me scroll down. I think I answered this question. There we go. Right, the Akatsuki, I ranked them as Obito for obvious reasons. Yeah, obvious reasons. He's literally got the Rinnegan. He has access to Rinnegan and all that other nonsense, so he's going to be first. Pain is second. Itachi will be third for good reason, and Kisame fourth. That's my ranking for that. But the other question is top 5 anime/manga, just cause why not? I will be giving top 5 for me. In no particular order, I'll just say my top 5. Again, not in any order, I'm just saying 5 animes. OG Dragon Ball. OG Dragon Ball is the anime which I hold dearest to my heart. It's perfect the way it is, it's got so much adventure, a lot of comedy in there, a lot of action. It's a balance of everything that needs to be in an anime. Whimsical, action, good story, peak perfection. But also you need to be able to watch One Piece too. I know the pacing issues are going to be quite a bit of a problem, but there's going to be a One Piece anime coming out next year, I think, which will solve that. So One Piece is also on that list, and it's going to be the only one in the big 3 which I will consider a must. Next is either Yu Yu Hakusho or Hunter x Hunter. Togashi's work is considered peak in anime, and for a reason. It's got great quality and it did pretty much inspire a lot of other anime as well. So that's going to be number 3, again in no particular order. But let's add something a bit psychological in there as well. Death Note is another one you need to watch. In order to really become cultured in the anime community, you kinda need to have watched Death Note, right? A Death Note is really influential in the anime community as a whole and quite well known. The whole dynamic and manipulation between Light and L, their dynamic is brilliant. You kinda need to know that. Obviously just my opinion. And the final anime which you need to watch is Pokemon. You know, that way you kinda just cover all your bases, something childish, something action. But that will be my list for anyone who wants to watch anime. I will tell them they should watch those 5 at some point. Right, that's enough of those questions. Thank you for asking. Let's go for this one. Ooh, that's quite a long bundle of questions. Alright, let's start. Dear Spectre, how did you start your channel in the beginning of your YouTube career? I've already answered this one. I might put a time code to it, I might actually forget, so just watch the entire video, you'll know. Was it easy? No. Getting subscribers and getting viewers is quite a hard task, to be honest. It can be quite discouraging, but the main important thing is to keep going, and I'm still keeping going. Was it hard to focus at times? Okay, another bit of Spectre lore here. Yes, for me specifically, because especially when I'm making a video like this, you might not spot many mistakes, but that's because I cut them off. When I do my videos, even the short ones, I write a script so I know what I'm speaking. Because usually I will just end up rambling a lot, and watching this video will tell you that. But to stay on point and to stay concise, I have to write a script, so it can be, and it was hard at times to stay focused. So I did have to find ways to stay on task, and uploading consistently is also something which requires a lot of focus and dedication, but I do cope with all of that. Why did you name yourself as the Spectre? Wow, a lot of Spectre lore being dropped today, I suppose. Right, Why did I name myself as the Spectre? I suppose I should start by saying that my account or my channel wasn't always called the Spectre. It was called Raging 247. Different question entirely, different lore bit entirely there. To be honest, I chose the name Spectre because I think I've almost forgot, but in my head back then, it was this ethereal being who's able to kind of be impartial in judgment, to be able to discern information and judge without having to take sides, to be an impartial judge basically. And the way I envisioned that would be this ethereal skull in the sky covered with blue light. You can actually see that in my first Spectre logo, this one. Yeah, that's what I envisioned the Spectre to be. Obviously not with the wings and just the skull, it had a body, but I do not have the artistic prowess to draw it. So I just went with what I had and edited that picture to make that. That's what I essentially envisioned the Spectre to be. Why did I start my YouTube career? Answered that question. And when do you plan to retire? I'm not sure. I suppose I'll retire at some point when not when my following's getting too big, but when YouTube becomes too exhausting, I suppose. Like when I get to a point where I've got a lot of subscribers and doing YouTube has gotten to be a detriment to what I want to do, that's the time when I'll stop. So basically when my motives change with YouTube and making content, I'll stop and try and do something different. But for the time being, I don't see myself stopping at any time unless it's for a serious matter. Right, next question. Would you plan to retire? How did you make your avatar and your second avatar? I already told you how I made the first one, but I will go over it again. It's an app called Reality where you're able to stream and broadcast by using an AI avatar instead of using your real face. That's when I made it. The second one, which I use on most of my shorts, this one, which you might recognize quite a bit, I made this using an app called Custom Cast. It works pretty much the same way, but it's a lot more complicated. I made my avatar over there. I do often use this one in videos and not this one because this one is a bit too bland to be in a video. It's a bit too boring, I think. That's why I decided to make another one on Custom Cast, which will be a bit more responsive to videos, and that way it would be more eye-catching, I suppose. That's why I had to make a second one, but that's how I made it too. Why did you make your avatar? If you did, how did you master your narrator voice? Oh, different questions. Why did you make your avatar? Oh, so I don't have to do a face reveal. I wanted a way to express myself on the screen and show myself on the screen without being on the screen, if you catch my drift. Because, yeah, I'm not doing a face reveal yet. I will do one at some point if people actually want that. But in the time being, I feel no need to make a face reveal. So you'll have to wait for that for when I eventually do it. Or if I do it, because it is an if, believe it or not. Right, let's move on to the next one. How did you master your narrator voice? Like seriously, how though? It's not really a narrator voice. This is just me speaking, believe it or not. I mean, I already have enough of a problem making people believe this is my voice. Actually, wait, there is a way to easily tell that this is my voice. It can change in depth and I suppose get higher or lower depending on what I'm speaking about or depending on my condition at the moment. But I can also make it go a bit higher, that way I'm speaking louder and more understandable. See, it can't be an AI if it's able to change like that, right? I hope that proves it. But how did I master my narrator voice? Again, it's just me speaking, there's nothing narrative about it. If you're wondering why I'm speaking this proper, because, and believe it or not, I do speak this proper to everyone I talk to, literally. Right, let's move on to the next one. Why did you change your name from the Spectre Origin to the Spectre Society? Oh, right, that origin bit is only for Instagram because the Spectre is already taken on Instagram, so I put Origin to show that this is my account. I was going to put official, but it seemed a bit cringe to put that there, to be honest. But as to why I made it the Spectre Society, it's because I was talking to someone and realized that when you search up on YouTube the Spectre, it shows up with the Alan Walker song, which is a good song, mind you, but it would take you quite a bit of time to find my channel. So I had to find a way to distinguish it quite a bit, so that when you search up on YouTube, Spectre Society, it would come up with my channel or my videos, instead of, a song. Make it more recognizable and more brand recognition. Can't hurt, right? Right, cool name though. What does annoys you the most? What annoys me the most? Toxic fans. Moving on. Do you have any friends? That's an interesting question. Obviously, I've got friends. Online friends, yes. IRL friends, yes, etc. Don't answer the last question if you don't feel comfortable answering it. That was the last question? Not sure. I did just answer it, so yes, I do obviously have friends. Odd question, to be honest. But most of all, how is your day-to-day going? Like, seriously though, that's what matters the most. God damn, this is a good guy. How is your overall life going? Bonus question, are you excited to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill F? Not sure what the F stands for. Right, let's go over this real quickly. How am I overall doing? Right, that's what matters most. Let's see. How is your day today going? It's going well. I finally found time to sit down and record all this, so I'm just sat here quite literally in a room recording to myself, and let me look at the timer. It's at 40 minutes 23 seconds, and just realizing that I've been yammering to myself for this long feels a bit crazy, but that's the life of a YouTuber. At least I don't have to watch myself do it because I'm not on Facecam. How's your overall life going? Pretty well, I would say. How's yours, and how's your day going? And how's everyone's day going? Just to spread the question out to everyone and have a bit of positivity in here. Are you excited to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? I just know it's going to be a candidate for one of the best games to be released, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Currently my interest is in Black Myth Wukong, but I am also looking forward to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. There should be a video coming out which I'm going to be making with a good friend. You might notice him from this video here which we did together, where we're going to be discussing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and all the things that's coming out about it. So look forward to that as well. Silent Hill 2 Remake and Silent Hill F. I'll probably only watch walkthroughs for these two games because to this day I haven't actually played a single Silent Hill game before, and I don't really intend to be honest, but yeah, I'll probably just watch some walkthroughs on some YouTube channel somewhere. Probably the Rad Brad. It might seem like a paid promotion, but he is genuinely a good guy, and I do often enjoy his walkthroughs, so if he does make a walkthrough, I'll watch it there. If he doesn't, I'll find some other channel somewhere, but I'm not too keen, to be honest. I do look forward to what they do with the games because these are really famous horror games and horror franchises, especially Silent Hill F. We've talked about it before, I think. It's definitely going to be something new in the series, but it's going to be good, that much I do know. So I'm looking forward to them, but yeah, I probably won't be playing them. Anyway, thank you for asking all these questions. Lovely seeing you here, mate. Let's move on to the next one. First of all, do you think Kumagawa could somehow negate Hakai, since Kumagawa is immune to death? Yeah, Kumagawa erased the concept of death for himself, so what's Hakai going to really do? And we have seen that if you're stronger than the person casting it, Hakai won't really do much to you. So the question is Kumagawa stronger than Beerus? Obviously he's stronger than Beerus. So not only would it not do anything because he's stronger, but it won't do anything because Kumagawa can't die. But he can also just choose to make Hakai not affect him, or Hakai be turned into water. Again, he can manipulate reality. When you can manipulate reality, things start meaning very little to you. Right next, since we already know that Rimuru can copy and merge abilities to make them stronger, does that mean if he got his hands on Hakai, he could make it better, like Zeno's Hakai, or personalize it himself? It does mean that he could just use Beelzebub to essentially just suck in the ability and use Raphael or CL to make it better or make it change or replicate it. Essentially, Rimuru is the last person on this planet you want showing your abilities because he can copy them and make them better. So the answer is yes, he could just improve Hakai to be stronger than it already is, or have a larger radius, or essentially just make it very dangerous compared to what it usually was. That's what Raphael is good at, taking abilities, merging them together and creating something new. So yeah, or he could just make weapons which have Hakai in them. That's not really strange. We have seen something similar in that Tamagotchi incarnated as a slime. Hinata Sakaguchi's sword, which is able to do a similar thing to Hakai, but she has to hit you with it 7 times. And Rimuru did absorb that ability and its effect and made it better to make it only last 1 hit. So if he got his hands on Hakai, I don't see why he can't just work on that and make it better. So that should answer your question, I hope. Right. Let's move on. Is that all the questions? I could have sworn I told all these people not to discuss in here because it would make it a bit difficult to find questions, so I'll have to reinforce that later. Right, more questions. Let's see. Dear the Spectre, I hope and wish to add a few more questions if it isn't too late. No, it's not too late, although that's my fault to be honest. What is your 10 horror anime or manga? I don't think I've seen any horror anime or manga. Hold on, let me think about it. There's Umineko, When They Cry, Berserk can be classed as a horror. I would class Akame ga Kill as a horror as well, to be honest. Other than that, I don't think anime does horror too well. Hellsing is there, but Hellsing is more supernatural, right? In anime, horror is mostly done as supernatural or fantasy, not actual horror, right? So, I don't know. I don't think anime can even do horror. Like I said, fantasy or supernatural. That's it. I don't know. Have you considered watching Girls Last Tour yet? You did tell me about it, but I haven't started watching it yet. A bit swamped, if you couldn't tell by how late this video is. Do you think Featherine is overrated? No, she's perfectly rated. She's pretty damn strong. Should Rena? I don't know, I'm not Japanese. Ryugu replace Featherine, or should Featherine stay as the true author of Umineko? I think Featherine would be the best one to stay as the true author, since Ryu Kishi, the one who made Umineko, made Featherine to essentially be him in the show or in the books. So it does make more sense for her to remain in that position, right? I could be wrong though. What is your thoughts on metafictional characters versus Dragon Ball characters? If a character is metafictional as in they advance beyond fiction as a whole or move into different parts of fiction, having them versus Dragon Ball is just going to be unfair to Dragon Ball as a whole. Like having someone like Featherine go against the entire Dragon Ball verse is completely unfair. She can change the narrative. It's completely one-sided. People like Akoto Sai who also do something similar. It's not going to be fair in the slightest. While Dragon Ball fans will try to make it seem fair or make it seem close, it's not. They can erase the story. Zeno can't. It's just not fair at all. Like Toribot might be considered a metafictional character because it's just the late Akira Toriyama in the show. So he's not canon, by the way, before you start using him in debates. But yeah, that's the kind of example I'm trying to make. Putting someone like that in another anime would also be unfair. What would be your thoughts on Higurashi returning in 2026 of Silent Hill F? I'm assuming F stands for Featherine, becoming a hit. I think it would be pretty great if YouTube guidelines try to threaten your channel and try and cancel you. What would you do? There's not really much I could do there, is there? I would just have to contact YouTube and see if I can sort the problem out. I have had a few copyright issues, but those are mostly for since I make my videos by adding footage from animes. Sometimes the anime companies do get a bit too aggressive with that kind of thing and really protective, so I have to swap those kinds of things out to make sure it's fair use, but that's the only copyright I've had to deal with so far, and I haven't had a single copyright strike yet. So I should be good, and if anything serious does end up happening, I'll just talk to YouTube themselves and try to sort that out and hope it actually works out. If not, I've still got Instagram, I suppose. Do you think Deadpool would survive in Umineko or the other way around? I think Deadpool would survive anywhere given the right circumstances. He does have the ability to just surpass the fourth wall, so there's that. I don't think he can beat Featherine particularly. He might try and might come close to succeeding because honestly his powers are completely inconsistent. But yeah, but what do you mean by the other way around? As in if the characters from Umineko went into Marvel would be toast mostly, except for characters which are really strong like the one above all and the one below all who don't really stand a chance either. Like I said, it's essentially an author taking on a verse. It's not really fair. Have you ever watched Godzilla -1? No, I've only ever watched one Godzilla movie, and I don't even remember which one, so there's that. Have you ever wondered what would happen if Godzilla from -1 attacked Attack on Titan? They are toast. That's a big, really big monster that can shoot radioactive beams. I don't think Eren and his rumblings stand a chance, really. And if they did explode, doesn't Godzilla absorb radiation? I think he does, so aren't those explosions just going to power him up more? Yeah, he's going to fry the Attack on Titan verse. It's not even fair. Kratos versus Umineko. As I've said before, Umineko is a bit too OP, so they might win. Well, not they might win, they will win because of Featherine and Rena Ryugu. It's not really fair. Who wins? I've just answered that part. What are your thoughts on Umineko's cosmology? It's really, really complicated. It would take me up to 20 minutes to explain just that, and I'm not doing that here. So let's just say it's really complicated, but it is interesting to anyone who wants to read about its rules and tiers. That's all my questions, and sorry for so much Umineko questions. I really don't mind. Oh, there's a bonus question. Dear the Spectre, bonus question. Have you seen Gravity Falls? No, I haven't, but I have seen quite a bit of... I don't know. The answer is no, I haven't seen Gravity Falls, but I do know it exists and I do know some of the characters. That's literally it. Anyway, I think that should be all the questions. I'm currently sitting at the 53-minute mark, and that's before doing any cuts to the audio and doing any editing. But I will be getting to editing and the video should be much shorter. Hopefully closer to 30 minutes so that it doesn't take too long to upload and edit. Anyway, that will be it for the video. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating. The next video should be a hot takes video, which should be in the upcoming weeks. I will announce it on my Instagram story, YouTube community tab, and on my Discord, so please join my Discord server. You'll find a lot of like-minded people in there who you can discuss things with. And with all that said, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, which I'm not actually sure which one it's going to be, but there should be shorts coming out every single day, so look forward to those. Again, lastly, I keep saying this, sorry. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating. I will see you in the next video. Peace, my friend.